Hello, so I'm going to do a short video on the DMR just to show people a bit of its functionality because a few people have been asking questions about this. So just to show you the stock, somebody asked me if it's telescopic, and yes it is. I've put a little button in, a spring-loaded button, so you push the button in and you've got preset positions that you can slide the stock to. So it's quite quick to do, and it's stealth-locking as long as you release it before it reaches the notch. You can skip a notch if you want, but if you keep it pressed in, you can slide it right off and disengage the stock. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, the razor at the back, this is on the DMR version. You can add this onto the SMG version and you'll purchase the additional cheat crest with it. It's just a little thumb wheel, so you'll loosen it and then you can push your rest in and push it up. Set it to whatever you want and then just tighten it, and it's like a little locking nut on the other side that keeps it tight. Okay, so one thing I was looking at is I found out the other day you can actually turn this into a really lightweight competitive stock. Some people, they like the design of the magazine and it's fine, and I don't find it gets in the way. When I'm reloading, I tend to reload slightly to the side and it slots in really good in game. If it's a little bit tricky to put in, you can always angle it slightly to the side as you put the magazine in and it does accept it. I don't find it's a problem, but some people might. If you don't like it, you can always remove this whole middle section, and I'll show you that now. We've got the fake sight on top, the holographic, which doesn't seem to affect tracking at all. Just adds a little bit of extra weight, which people might not want. So I'm just going to loosen that. Once you've loosened that screw, you can actually remove that and slide it. I should probably get some black screws, but I haven't bothered at the moment. Right, so there's our DMR without the hollow. Now, the front section is actually held in place now by these little grub screws. So there's one there, and there's one on the middle section here. Now, I'm just going to show you what happens when we undo these. So you don't need to use much pressure. So just a couple of turns, and that'll free it up. So that comes off. This middle section is free sliding, so it's locked between them. So you can remove that. Now, if I just loosen up this back one, again it's just a little grub screw. Let's just see. Now that slides backwards and forwards. Now, it's probably optimum when you slide it over there's like a little recess section for your thumb, but you don't really need that. I find you can still use it without that recess. The top of your thumb doesn't really touch the metal. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the front section back on now without the magwell, and you can slide this right up so you can get it quite right up to the end. Now if I tighten this up, if I can do, I'm trying to do it behind the camera and it's quite hard to see. There it is. So don't over tighten these, you just need to give them a little tweak. 2, 3. There we go. So now you've got the front section of the DMR but without the magwell, so reloading's obviously going to be easier because you're not going to catch your magazine on the false magazine. At the back you can actually take this stock off if you wanted to, and you can actually attach an ultralight stock. So I'm just going to show you. That won't slide in at the moment, look, because I've got that grub screw in there. So I'm just going to remove that grub screw if I can. And there we go. So I'm just going to shake that out. I'm going to put our stock in. I'm going to tighten this up. Now the ultralight just locks in place because I don't want it moving. So basically once you've got a setting that you like, that's now fixed in place. But what you end up with, look, is a very light competitive DMR version of the ultralight. And this is extremely accurate. It's very lightweight, so you can do good grenade throws, no occlusion, and it's a really nice little compromise. If anyone's got the DMR, they can pick up this quite cheap. I haven't put it up on the site yet, but it's going to be very, very cheap for the rear ultralight stock. So you can actually convert it if you want to a really lightweight competitive stock. And of course you could fit that bipod on, the foldable bipod. So you'd have a really interesting little weapon platform there. You can adjust this front section as well if you, again, just release that. I'll just show you. I tend to just leave it as it is, but so once that's free, again, you're free to remove that. You can then slide that if you want to, so you could put it quite forward and lock it in place quite forward if you wanted to. I don't tend to bother with that, I tend to just leave it. So that's a quick look at it, and I'll do a few more videos of the different variations you can get later on. Okay, I'm extremely busy at the moment, so apologise for the low quality videos. I just don't have time to put them into a reasonable format. Okay, see you later.